A few weeks ago, I received a text message in the morning that every guy dreads receiving and never expects that he will receive it. And when he gets it, it completely catches him off guard and by surprise. And this text message obviously completely changed my life. So I'm going to read the exact text message and tell you my story. So I'm doing this over text because I couldn't bring myself to do it in person when I was there. I love you. You have so many wonderful qualities. You're the funniest guy I've ever dated. You're ambitious, you're an emotional rock, and honestly, you've got great dick game. Needless to say, the last part kind of made me smile, but you can tell with an intro like this that shit's about to go down. You can't start so strongly and expect things to be good from here. I do not appreciate getting a text message after spending 3 years with someone. I would think it's worth more than that. Let's continue. I was an emotional wreck about this because I'm really sorry, but I don't think we're aligned. I could give you a list of reasons that you could pick apart, but it really comes down to me seeing us not being successful long term. I just want to be honest that I've had my doubts for a while. And even though I love spending time with you, there are some concerns I just can't get over. I'll tell you guys about these concerns a bit later. Because of that, I haven't been as fully invested, loving, stable, or attentive as I should have been. And I'm really sorry for that. Because you deserve so much better. Now, I mean, you can take deserve so much better as two ways, but usually when someone says you deserve much better, they kind of mean they deserve much better, if you know what I'm saying. I have no doubt you'll find great success and happiness in your life, and I truly wish you the best. I'm just sorry that I've chosen not to be a part of that. Yeah, when I hit this line, like the first time I read it, I was pretty bummed out, not gonna lie. Like, I've sort of recovered substantially from that moment. But even reading it again at this time evokes a certain degree of emotional response that's unfavorable. Thank you for the amazing memories. Please don't be upset. You deserve wonderful things, and definitely not someone who might break up with you at any moment while you're trying to focus on the important stuff. Fair, I have a lot of endeavors that I'm doing on that I'm working on, and this breakup completely set me back for like a whole 2 to 3 weeks. It just killed my workflows. We promised to always be honest with each other. And since you've held up your end, this is me holding up mine. I don't want to waste your time. This time I need you to respect my decision. I don't want to make this harder for either of us by dragging it out. So, I think it's best if we take some space for a while after this. Guys, you know how it is. There's no such thing as good space in a relationship. Let's be real. Space, does that shit work? Why are you with someone if you want to take space? Please don't take my silence as coldness. I just need distance to process and move forward. Yeah, this part hit hard because it's like I need distance to process and move forward. So you hit me up with a text message and you already over this shit. I didn't know it was coming. I had no fucking idea. I literally everything was fine the week before nothing. No clue. This just out of the blue, like a fuck you from the cosmos. I think in that show Spartacus they used to say by Jupiter's cock. That's how it feels, man. Please know this wasn't an easy decision. I've gone back and forth for a long time because I do care about you deeply. Clearly, it was an easy decision if you could send a fucking text message. And maybe you did go back and forth for a long time, and maybe you do care for me deeply. But is this the way, you end things with someone you claim to care about deeply? This doesn't erase how much you've meant to me or how much you've helped me grow. I'll always be grateful for that. So, that is the breakup message that I received about 2 to 3 weeks ago, I think. And in the moment, I responded in the worst possible way. I responded as most guys will for most of their life, unfortunately. I responded with my emotions. I responded feeling bad and so on. And I tried to rationally convince a woman who had made a decision based on emotions with rational logic and reasons. And that went about as well as Kamala Harris pandering to young men, which is to say, not well at all. So that's like the intro to my story, and let's work from there. When I read this, I felt tangible physical pain. It actually did feel like a gut punch or a kick to the balls. It wasn't great, I'm not gonna lie. It sucked. I was depressed and bummed out, and I just wanted to escape my life and everything, and it was a dark place to be in, and I wanted to return to all my former vices. If you saw my previous video, all I wanted to do was smoke some weed and get high. I was like, I'm just gonna get super high, and like I'll stay high, and then I don't have to feel bad, and like it'll be fine. But for the first time in my life, I actually confronted these kind of emotions, like I dealt with them. I decided, you know what, fuck it. I've gone through some shit. I've fixed most of my mental health. I can deal with the pain. So I dealt with the pain and I processed it and I thought through it, and I used a whiteboard to ask myself why repeatedly. Why do I feel bad that this girl broke up with me? And I kept answering that question repeatedly until I got to the source. So that was about 50 blocks of like why questions. It took like a while to figure this shit out. It was a lot of work. But hopefully it was worth it. I want to give you guys some context. I am not some basement dwelling loser whose greatest ambition is to be a Reddit mod exacting their limited control and power in their real world into an online world. My greatest aspiration in life is not to have 15 monitors and have a major goon session to the point of where I fap so many times that my dick flies off. That's not a goal of me. That's not a goal of mine. I avoid the hub as some kind of satanistic thing that the Christians would stay away from, even though I'm not that religious. Might be spiritual though. I have a degree in medicine and surgery. I'm a qualified medical doctor. I have further certifications in AI, prompt engineering, and I'm studying digital marketing and AI engineering because that's where my passion lies. I'm interested in that shit. So if I wanted to find a job, I could easily find a fucking job. I could get a normal people life. I could get a 9 to 5. But I realized some time ago that I don't want a 9 to 5. And that's an important thing for me. And I think that relates directly to the fact that that breakup message that I read to you guys at the start of the video, I received that as my ex, I suppose, now is turning 30. So she's hitting, I guess, as you'd say in the manosphere, the wall. And we know that when women reach this age, Rollo Tomasi speaks about the SMV curve. It's the first time in their lives where like they match the bros, they finally experience what it's like to be a man. No one gives a fuck and you feel your value decreasing. And I think part of this breakup was due to through that factor of her like hitting 30, and like her best friend is married and with a kid and stuff, and she constantly bombards her with pictures of this child. And women heavily compare themselves to their social circle. They're like, oh shit, I don't have a kid, I don't have this, I don't have that, so that must mean I'm a failure in life. And needless to say, her friend doesn't like me and I don't like her friend because her best friend is a hoe. Fun fact, her best friend basically got married after like being with this dude for maybe 6 months, and her best friend, unlike her, has a body count of over 20. Now, if you do any research or you've seen any content on the internet, you know that if a woman has that high a body count, the odds of a successful marriage are like less than 30%. We know from research, from science, not bro science, not that kind of science. We know from actual science that the more partners a female has, the less her ability to pair bond, the less her ability to make a long, stable relationship, the less her satisfaction in the relationship, and the more the likelihood of a divorce. So I give it a pretty high percentage that in the next 7 years, her best friend's relationship is going to go bye-bye. Boom, gone. And I'm waiting for that day. Not going to lie, I know that's spiteful, but fuck it. Like, I'm waiting to be like, hey, man, I called this shit. I knew this was coming. You guys didn't listen, and by you guys, I mean her. Anyway, she has a much lower body count, like way lower, like almost like a Mormon kind of body count. It's one of the reasons why I was so bummed out when this breakup happened, because I knew that she would have a decent capacity to pair bond. moving on, this breakup got me thinking about, I read The Rational Male by Rollo Tomasi quite a while back, but it was a very powerful book. And the idea of frame, and he speaks of how whether you are dating in a relationship or in a couple who's married and living together, as a man, you need to maintain frame at all times. Like, your frame is who you are, and it's who she's ultimately going to respect. You cannot break frame. And I think at times in the relationship, in the past, may have broken frame when shit like hit the fan, and I lost sometimes a sense of myself and my purpose. Because when you have someone in your life, that you do kind of spend a lot of time with them, and you worry about them, and you make compromises in who you are, to make them happy and shit. It's what we do. So I think, though, that frame is more important than just woman and stuff like that, because I thought about frame from a concept of how do you be the person you're supposed to be. The frame is not an act. Like, game isn't a show. You are become game. To quote Hindu scripture, not religious again, I just read a lot, but you are your game, right? And for your game to be legit, you need to be legit. And this breakup, yeah, man, this breakup made me think about legitness, about frame, about who I am as a man, and who I want to be, and the kind of life I want to lead. The pain was intense. The first week or two of grieving, I fucking flew through Kubler-Ross's stages of grief, man. Like, I smile now and all because I find it funny looking back, because, since then I had some psychedelics and shit, and like, I'm feeling a lot better, needless to say. But yeah, I think it's important to go through the grieving process, but the grieving process channeled this pent up rage that has been inside me for like the longest time. I've always felt like I haven't lived up to my full potential in this life. Like, there's so much more that I could be doing with my time, and so much more success, and a better physique, and like every single aspect of my life could be better. I've always felt that something was missing internally. And when this breakup happened, that pain transpired and was transmuted into something else, into power, into anger, into aggression, and into a state of focus and zen. I am a different person. Like, from Dewey, I know it sounds insane, but like, the man I was who had that breakup message is completely different to the man that I'm going to become. And I want to become rich, jacked, and successful as any man would want to be. At least any sane man who knows he's actually a man, etc., etc. Not one of these leftist liberal men who fucking snort their soy and shit. Like, not, I mean, like an actual man. You want to be rich, you want to be jacked, and you want to be successful. Fair. So, where does all of this shit start from? And because I was so heavily focused on my AI influencer, who has big ass tits and actually went viral, and I'll tell you guys more about that at some point. But I've been so focused on building that platform and my business and my website around AI and AI technology and AI content creation that I completely let my gym life slide. I let like the body fall apart, even the mind fall apart, because I was hyper fixated on work. I was like, I'm going to get this shit done, and it's going to get me like a Lamborghini. I'm going to get this shit done. It's going to get me status. It's going to get me power. When I get this shit done, then I can get like jacked and stuff. Like, I'll have the money to buy tasty ass food, and then being jacked will be easy because I'll use a meal delivery service. But then I thought back to a YouTuber who I follow. His name is Bo Rafiq, and his main channel is called Legion of Men. Legend. This guy is an absolute legend, He got me through some pretty dark times in my life, like watching his content. He's the kind of mentor that, I wish I had. I think the YouTube self-improvement shit starts like, you start off at Hamza when you're down bad, and like, you just need to get out of the basic rut of living that dopamine existential life. But then you start to realize that there's more than just the Hamza view of this shit. Like, it's a multi-year process, and eventually you get to Legion of Men, where you start to see a much bigger picture, a much greater understanding of what this journey's actually about. Anyway, he talks about how he was broke AF. Like, when he first started out, he was so broke, and he just lived off peanut butter peanut butter and I think jelly sandwiches, and like he had a rich roommate, and this roommate used to offer him steak and shit, but he was like, nah, bro, I'm not gonna eat that shit. I'm gonna eat this fucking peanut butter sandwich until I actually succeed to make enough money to get myself out of the situation of, poverty and shit like that. But I think there's some powerful wisdom in that, because the body is where this shit like all starts from. Like, let's be real. The reason why being jacked is so impressive is because so few people pull it off. So few men look like a fucking Greek god. So few men even look decent these days. So it all starts in the body. And I also want to mention Arnold Schwarzenegger in Total Recall. If you guys have ever read his book, you'd be mind blown to see how intelligent this man is. When you read his writing, it starts to hit you real fast that the reason why he became rich and successful wasn't because he was super jacked. It was because of the way he thought about the world, the way he understood reality, and the kind of character that muscle discipline. You see, the muscle is the external expression of discipline, intelligence, and hard work and commitment to yourself, right? So when he built that Mr. Olympia body, as we all know him for, it was because of very advanced thinking. The man is intelligent. He understood what it meant. He understood the character that develops. Now you're probably wondering what kind of a tangent I'm going on here, but I'm trying to lay it out so it makes sense to you. So when I think of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Legion of Men, yo, fake bros, shout out to you. You an absolute legend. If you ever see this video, please, we should chat sometime. Thank you for everything. I appreciate you, man. The two things that these guys both have in common is that they did the work when times weren't easy. They did the work when shit sucked, when their lives weren't where they wanted to be. They removed emotions from everything. And this is a concept that I've been doing. So for the past 2 weeks, fam, I've been eating chicken, rice, and broccoli. Not because I can't cook, not because they aren't tasty, healthy alternatives. The reason I've been eating chicken, rice, and broccoli is maybe mild masochism, but it's because the kind of man who gets the shit I want out of life doesn't care about how the food tastes. He doesn't use feelings to dictate what he must do. He eats the food because it is aligned with his purpose and his goal. So I know I ain't jacked yet and stuff like that. I'm just getting back in the gym, but I've probably eaten this shit like 30 times. I'm keeping a tally because each time's like, oh my God. But I know that if I do this for like 1,000 times, I'll become a monster. As Jordan Peterson says, become a monster and then learn to tame the monster. And I want to be a monster who is completely in control of his reality, his emotions. I don't want to ever go through a text message breakup. I never want to have that feeling. And I know it's from ego. Like, I know it's from ego, but it's also from my higher self. There's two aspects to this whole journey that I'm embarking on. One is the ego. I'm going to get jacked, rich, and success. I'm going to get my Lambo. I'm going to get my beachfront house. I'm going to do everything I set out to do. I'm going to put up those status messages, and I'm going to make her see on social media that she made the wrong choice and she was wrong. And I'm going to rub it in. I'm going to rub it in every single day of her life, no matter which loser ass kissing simp she's with and safe guy out there who has his shit together because he's not an entrepreneur and actually trying to make real fucking money. And she settled down with her 15 fucking children in some little house out there. She's going to see this shit. She's going to see that lifestyle. She's going to see who I've become. And she's going to regret it. She's going to be one of those alpha widows. For the rest of her life, she's going to remember every single day that she could have been emancipated. My goal in life is to have a housewife. I want a traditional relationship. I want a woman who cooks, cleans, takes care of the home, raises the kids, and takes care of me. I don't need a career body. I'm the career body, or soon to be, I guess. I don't need a woman to do those things. Those successes and shit like that boss babe energy, not for me. 0 out of 10, super left swipe. So the 50% is my ego. My ego wants her to feel that she fucked up because that will make me feel good. And I'm aware of this. Guys, I'm not going to pretend that I'm some fucking ascended master, some old guy in orange robes sitting on a mountain being all spiritual and shit. Oh, nothing matters to me. Oh, I don't care about the bitches. I don't want nice stuff. No, man, that's not me. I'm a young dude. I want nice shit. I want good shit out of this life. I actually don't care, or maybe I do care. I'm not there yet. The other half is actually the spiritual self. It is the higher self. When I spoke about frame earlier, it's because to have good frame, you actually need to be the game. You have to be the person that you project to be. And I actually think that the body is where this shit starts. Like, if you build the discipline and the mindfulness to build that jacked physique, that's going to permeate through every single area of your life. And whether we like it or not, how we do one thing in our life is how we do everything. And for me, I love going to the gym. I love training, but I fucking hate the diet. I don't like eating healthy. Yeah, it doesn't appeal to me. And that's why I don't look like a Greek god. I fucking train. I can do all the heavy lifts and shit, but I don't look the way I should because I wasn't prepared to do everything correctly. And that's a flaw in character. Because here's the thing, right? I want a Lamborghini. I want a house on the beach. But if I can't shut my ass up and fucking sit and eat the tasteless, fucking horrible chicken breast and rice a million fucking times, like as many times as it takes to get jacked, how am I going to have the discipline and willpower to do what it takes to succeed at business, to build a life worth living, to build my fucking empire? If you can't build the body, right? Everything's going to be fucked because the body, the mind, all of this shit is related. Who you are as a person is related to how you look. It's related to how you feel. When you look like a Greek god and you put up a social media thirst trap, like, you know, fucking posing with your abs in some pool, and that your internal frame is, I am the shit, because you know that 99% of other guys don't have what you have. You are the guy who is the 0.1%. You at the top of the tree. You get your pick of the woman, the resources, everything. Reality comes to you. Do you think when you're making $10,000 to $20,000 a month and you have a beachfront fucking house and a few supercars, you jacked, you dressed old money, fucking Italian thread, all that nice stuff, do you think for a moment in your life that you will ever experience a girl even considering to leave you? Like, think about it. Do you think she would ever even think about leaving you? No. Dude, there's no chance in hell. You are literally the unattainable. You know what you realize as you get older as a man, that SMV that Rollo Tomasi speaks of is 100% legit. We are the prize, but we are only the prize if we put in the work to become the prize. You know, all women have to do is basically don't fuck their lives up. Don't get pregnant young and get like fat and shit. Don't do drugs. Like, they born with intrinsic value. And if they make poor choices, they lose intrinsic value. We as men born with nothing. No one gives a shit about us. No one cares. We have to create the value. But the benefit of that is there is no cap to value. There's no cap to who you can become. You are only limited by your own mind. You are only limited by what you think you can and can't do. If you're willing to put in the time and eat the fucking chicken and rice, bro, you too can like reach the stars. Which is fun, you know, coming from a YouTuber with 1 subscriber on this channel. But I do have a viral AI influencer, so I guess I'm not a complete failure at this shit. But I do. It's possible, and I think it all starts internally and then externally with the body. So, like, what's my game plan moving forward? There are 3 things I'm gonna do after this breakup. Number 1, looks max. Gonna make my skin look like fucking porcelain. Gonna get jacked F. I'm gonna build as much muscle as my body can naturally carry on my frame. I will eat the chicken breast till the point of where I want to take a fork and stab my eye with it. I will keep doing it because I want to look like a Greek fucking god. And number 3, money maxing. While doing the body, I'm going to be working intensely on my AI-based content on all my channels. Dude, I have like 8 different YouTube channels. I'm doing that content creator grind, and the reason I'm doing the content creator grind with like 2 degrees and a bunch of certifications and stuff is because I recognize that time is our most finite resource. Time is something we can never get. And if you're working for someone else, I got bad news, bro. You're either going to be replaced by AI, like it's coming, it is what it is, or you're just never going to succeed in life because no one is going to give you the life you actually want apart from you. If you're trading time for money, there's 24 hours in a day, right? you can only do so much work in that time. You have to think of a business or a way to make money that is based on your intelligence and the quality of your outputs and not the quantity. That's what I'm trying to do, guys. I'm trying to figure out how to separate time from money, because I know for a fact that once you pull that off, the rest of your life comes together. Okay, you separate your income from your time, and you something that you like. I love making AI content. I love my big titty influencer make fun of liberals and all their fucking delusions and genders and all the shit that these people come up with, man. There's some heavy shit going on in the world, that these people with the blue hair and stuff who believe they're cats and things like that. I don't even know where to begin, man. But yeah, I enjoy it. And there's this concept of dharma in at least the Hindu culture. Again, not religious here, I just read stuff. And it speaks about purpose, your truest form, your hero's journey, your destiny. And a job is not necessarily, unless you actually like what you do, don't get me wrong, maybe you do like what you do, fair game. But if you're just doing it because it pays you a salary, dude, you're going to be miserable. Like, the money is infinite. We know this. But I want to focus on purpose. I want to focus on who I want to become, who I need to be, and what I need to do to become the fully stacked man. And yeah, maybe maybe this is my accountability journal. Who knows what shit I put on over here. But I'm never gonna get a text message breakup for the rest of my life. Like, I'm gonna become the kind of man who, their reality, this shit doesn't exist. Guys, if we're honest, like, we men, we're not women. We don't lie to each other. We tell each other straight up how it is. If you think back to your breakups and most of the challenges in your life, like, if you're honest with yourself, you'd realize that most of the time, like, bad things happen to you because you make bad choices, because you have bad habits, because you have bad mental health, because you don't eat good food, because you don't have good nutrition. And ultimately, this all feeds into the trifecta, of like, everything is fucked because the little things that you do aren't in order. You see, the chicken and rice, besides being a form of fucking detention and punishment, I hate every single meal, is a process of becoming. It's a simple task, It's a simple thing that you do whether you like to or not, that slowly builds that willpower muscle up. And it adds up. It's not that long. I can't see you a fitness course just yet, but I can say that because I've forced myself to eat this bland ass horrible food repeatedly, for the past 2 weeks or so, my mentality is already shifting. Like, at night when I don't want to meditate or journal, I'm like, fuck it, I'm tired. Like, I don't want to deal. I remind myself that, yo, bro, you had chicken and rice today, okay? You made it through that. You can sit your ass down and write your thoughts on a piece of paper a few times and shit. You can sit down and be silent. Like, you can do this. And I think that's the true benefit in this. I know exactly what I need to do. And I think if you're watching this video, internally, you know exactly. Like, we all know what we should be doing. We do it for some fucking profound reason. So I'm gonna be getting to that grind journey, and I have been grinding intensely. My personal life, 0 out of 10, but I've been grinding the content and the AI stuff, and I've been getting decent results. But then this breakup happened, and everything became sad and depressed and shit. But I've internalized it, and I've realized the flaws in my ways, and I'm gonna become the man I was always supposed to be, and I'm gonna put in the hours. I don't care what it takes. I don't care what I need to do and who I need to become. I will succeed at this journey, and I will become the complete, fully stacked man. So this is really, I guess, a video that is accountability to myself. I have like my journal and stuff here, and I'm like fucking reading some shit from it, like some of the notes I made on my thinking and stuff. So this is all true story, guys. It's not like the usual crap. This is a real person's journey going through the shit, and a breakup sucks and stuff. If you guys want to share your breakup story in the comments and stuff, and what you did after it and who you became, or like whether it was a good thing for you or a bad thing, I'd be grateful to hear about it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of lonely because all I really do these days is work on content. I don't have that many friends. I'm socially isolated. I'm in my own like bubble because I'm building right now, and it is lonely. But it is what it is, and I like to connect with like-minded people. So, you know, if you guys want to chat and stuff, hit me up in the comments. Like, I'd like to make some friends if you've been through the same thing. I've also turned 30, so I'm entering the SMV curve is supposed to go up. Let's see if it does. I'm going to put in the effort. I think it will, though. And yeah, I'm going to keep myself accountable. I'll maybe make a follow-up video on retaining seed and shit, because obviously now that I'm single, now that I'm single, I ain't busting a nut no more. My balls be full F. So I want to talk about like those benefits, because I think they're completely legit. Again, this is as someone with a medical background, as a doctor, like the benefits are legit. It's not bro science. The full ball feeling, you know, be hungry with a full set of balls, it's legit, man. Like, I am horny F, but I'm also super driven. I'm gonna stay single for a while after this. Like, I'm gonna stay in a state of solitude while I build. It's important that I focus internally and do all of this work now. You know, guys, as men, we are blessed with time. There's no biological clock ticking down. We don't have ovaries to worry about. We don't have social judgment for being single and not having kids and that and that. Like, we have the time to build and become, you know, whoever we want to be. So if you're down, depressed, like I was, you know, fucked and shit, make sure you remind yourself that this too shall pass, that things will get better, and that you can do anything you set your mind to. And I'm going to prove that, okay? I don't have the best muscle building genetics. I was born with like SS tier intelligence build, charisma, but like fucking Asian muscle building genetics, you know, like I was originally, before I even started in the gym, I was 60 kgs, bro, at 189 centimeters, 6'2" in freedom units, America. Which is really an AIDS physique, like, not gonna lie. Like, if the wind blew, I'd fucking take off and paraglide like Zelda and fucking Breath of the Wild. Yeah, dude, like, I had the AIDS physique. I ain't jacked now, but at least I look relatively healthy. It was maybe 5 years to just gain that initial like 20 kgs to not look like an AIDS victim, but the next 20 to reach my goal of about 100 kgs at my height will probably be the most challenging thing I ever do. And I'm gonna slaughter, you know, I feel like I'm gonna slaughter an entire civilization of chicken in the world. Dude, I'm gonna genocide that stuff. Anyway, guys, I shared my mind comp of a fucking breakup. And I smile and shit now because I look back and I'm kind of amused, because, you know, I went through so much grief and so much pain and shit. And I tried everything in my power to get this woman back, until I took a step back and I realized it's not about her. None of this is about her. This is about my journey and who I need to become. And when that realization hit me, that breakup pain kind of just died. I'm driven, I'm on my mission, I'm on my purpose, and I'm where I need to be to become who I need to become. So, yeah, you know, I hope you enjoyed that. Until next time, no homo. Maybe hit that subscribe button, or don't, you know, it's fine. I don't even know what to call this channel. I got the name Critical Chad, but I'm an INTJ, so I'm thinking Mr. INTJ, and just like track, you know, the journey of like down bad bro, fucking breakup and shit, no job, none of this crap, and then like boom, Lambo and stuff. Yeah, I'd like to be accountable to myself and hold myself to a higher standard. So thanks for watching, and yeah, maybe I'll see you guys in the next one. Again, shout out to Legion of Men, absolute legend. I appreciate you, brother. You are life changing. Thank you, and yeah, cheers, guys.